couldn't have been gone for more than a few minutes, but in that time Granny Ethel had fallen asleep in her chair. Too much Chianti, I suppose. I went into the kitchen to wash the dishes, and she slept on through the whole racket, snoring like a baby. There didn't seem to be any point in disturbing her, so I decided to leave. I couldn't even write her a note to say goodbye, seeing that she was blind and all, and so I just left. I put her grandson's wallet on the table, picked up the camera again, and walked out of the apartment. And that's the end of the story. Did you ever go back to see her? I asked. Once, he said, about 3 or 4 months later. I felt so bad about stealing the camera, I hadn't even used it yet. I finally made up my mind to return it, but Ethel wasn't there anymore. I don't know what happened to her, but someone else had moved into the apartment, and he couldn't tell me where she was. She probably died. Yeah, probably. Which means that she spent her last Christmas with you. I guess so. I never thought of it that way. It was a good deed, Auggie. It was a nice thing you did for her. I lied to her, and then I stole from her. I don't see how you can call that a good deed. You made her happy, and the camera was stolen anyway. It's not as if the person you took it from really owned it. Anything for art, eh, Paul? I wouldn't say that, but at least you've put the camera to good use. And now you've got your Christmas story, don't you? Yes, I said. I suppose I do. I paused for a moment, studying Auggie as a wicked grin spread across his face. I couldn't be sure, but the look in his eyes at that moment was so mysterious, so fraught with the glow of some inner delight, that it suddenly occurred to me that he had made the whole thing up. I was about to ask him if he'd been putting me on, but then I realized he would never tell. I had been tricked into believing him, and that was the only thing that mattered. As long as there's one person to believe it, there's no story that can't be true. You're an ace, Auggie, I said. Thanks for being so helpful. Any time, he answered, still looking at me with that maniacal light in his eyes. After all, if you can't share your secrets with your friends, what kind of a friend are you? I guess I owe you one. No, you don't. Just put it down the way I told it to you, and you don't owe me a thing. Except the lunch. That's right, except the lunch. I returned Augie's smile with a smile of my own, and then I called out to the waiter and asked for the check.